is up.
Just instantly.
All right. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Storyworks podcast, where we story work. I'm your host, Zach Gosen.
I'm your co-host, Andrew Hall.
And this is The Last of Us.
It's the full season discussion, baby.
Lots of episodes. 9 episodes.
9 episodes. Also, in case you'd noticed, we're back in the studio. We're back home.
We're back home.
We've
It's
stopped,
good to be back.
We stopped flying through the temporal vortex.
Yeah, no, we're finally grounded. We've landed. Some things happened. Some things happened since last we spoke. The Oscars happened.
Yeah, they did.
Before we get into a little bit of a Last of Us discussion, I just want to shout out A24. Holy fucking shit.
We love you. We love you, A24.
Absolute sweep.
And you love to see that.
No, for sure.
You just
for
love
sure.
to see it.
Awesome speeches. Michelle Yeoh, of course.
Kei Kwan.
Brandon Fraser, the boy, the ultimate comeback with the whale.
You love to see it, dude.
And fucking best directing, best picture.
Yeah, best editing.
A huge night for A24.
Oh, absolutely.
Huge night for
sure.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. And then All Quiet on the Western Front seemed to have...
Yeah, it picked up a few as well.
Yeah, picked up some more. But, dude...
And can't forget Pinocchio. Pinocchio
Yes.
took best animation.
Absolutely. Now here's a
And it
question
beat
for
out an A24 film.
Marcel the Shell, right?
Yep, Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Yeah, with shoes on. You can't forget that part.
Yeah.
He's got little shoes.
Just little tiny cute shoes for a shell.
We got to watch that shit.
Yeah, it looks really cute and fun.
Here's a question for you.
Okay, I might have an answer.
Do you think Pinocchio should have been nominated for Best Picture in general? Do you think it deserved that?
It was really good. I think it could have been a contender.
I think it
sure.
absolutely could have been.
I was kind of stunned that the Batman was only nominated for like 2 things, and
Yeah.
and one of them was like best visual effects, which is like
It felt like a pretty practical movie to me.
yeah.
And when that is competing against Avatar, it's just like, okay, thanks
Cool.
for throwing us in the mix somewhere,
Thanks.
I guess.
Very cool. Very cool.
I would have thought, like, I mean, the Batman had really cool wardrobe, costumes.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's the thing. That was the other thing I got. It was, makeup and whatever.
Yeah.
And it went up against the whale.
Yes, which is just so heavy.
You're
heavily
not
prosthetics.
Yeah, you can't beat the whale. I mean, how they made Brendan Fraser look.
Yeah. I can't imagine putting that suit on every day.
No, it's insane. I mean, we talk about it like Colin Farrell, because that's the only reason why I think that the Batman got nominated for like makeup and stuff is because
not for his dark eyes and
not
they just like
not for the
fucked his hair
the
up.
Hot Topic look.
Yeah, right.
No, for Colin Farrell coming in at like 4 a.m. and putting on however much makeup to turn into Oswald Cobblepot.
Yeah. That takes dedication as an actor to accept a role like that in general.
Oh, for
when you
sure.
know you're going into set like 3 hours earlier than everyone else. That shit's wild.
But he loved it. He was all about it, man.
For sure.
It was very cool.
I'm excited to see the Penguin show.
Yeah.
I want to see where it takes us.
Good old, it's The Sopranos, but Gotham.
Yeah. Most definitely, man. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I just thought it was crazy, like the huge chunk of awards A24 took home. That's awesome. It's awesome to see independent cinema coming up top like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, well deserved.
For sure. Go watch the acceptance speeches, man. Ki Kwan made me cry.
Dude, he always makes me cry. I've watched, I think every acceptance award that he speech that he's given, for Academy Awards and the Oscars now and everything, and he's just so genuine every single time.
Really, yeah.
And yeah, he makes me cry every time.
Such a humane reaction, you know. Didn't he say when he got the Oscar, he just said, "Mom, I got an Oscar." And he's just,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it immediately set me off.
Yep. Dude, and when it won Best Picture, he got to hug Harrison Ford again.
I know. It was so fucking good.
Aw.
I love it. I love Ki Kwan.
We love him.
If I could have one day to hang out with anybody right now,
It'd be him for sure.
dude, yeah.
He just seems like he'd be so cool and fun to hang out with. He's just a genuine person.
I want to give him a hug.
Yeah.
I want to give him a hug.
Hey, Mr. Kwan.
Mr. Mr. Kwan? Oh man. All right. So yeah, just some quick shout outs, but we're gonna
Yeah.
get into The Last of Us. Just finished airing recently within a week or so of this airing.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna go straight into it.
I mean, yeah, we are here. This is the end of season kind of discussion for us.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Obligatory. It's on HBO Max. It's on HBO Max. Go watch it on HBO Max and give me a free subscription, please.
Please. Maybe one day.
So yeah, that I guess is like where our spoiler warning will be.
Yeah, we're going in.
Because we're gonna go in, man.
We're going all the way.
What a show! First off, just absolutely breathtaking in every possible way.
For sure, dude. I think generally speaking, it hit every note that the game did. And not only, it continued to expand upon what the game delivered.
So I was watching after the episodes would air, they would release little segments that were like behind the episode or inside the episode.
Right.
Where it would be Craig Mazin or Neil Druckmann and, you know, maybe the director of that week's episode and Pedro or some, you know, they just get some people that were associated with the episode to come in and kind of talk about what is going through, you know, the minds of the characters, what's going through the minds of the crew as they're like adapting this work.
Yeah, right.
And it's just super cool. I kind of lost where I was going with that train of thought.
No, but you're absolutely right. They just the creative process. I love getting a glimpse into that, like when they add those little bits, those little extra bits at the end of the episode for you.
Yeah. How did I get there? How did I get to that?
We were just starting to dive into the work.
That's fair. Oh, no, that's what it was. So in these because you were talking about I've activated. Well, because you mentioned that it takes all the beats of the show or of the game, and improves on them. And in one of these behind the episode videos, Neil Druckmann is saying, like he says, we adapted. You know, the way that we look at adapting is if it's worse or as good as if it's as good as or worse than the game, we stick with the game. But if it's better, then we improve and we adapt.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why, you know, you get like the different in episode 2 when they leave Tess, instead of them being chased by Fedra, they're being chased by a horde of infected.
Right.
Stuff like that. That's because they've looked at it and they said, you know, it makes a little bit more sense for it to be this way.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Like in the game, it's all spores, right?
Yeah.
Which works in like Craig Mazin talks about this.
Yeah.
He says, you know, spores work in the concept and realm of a video game, but in the real world, spores travel. Spores go everywhere. Like if you walk through like an infected spore zone where like you have to put on a gas
mask,
it's getting on your clothes. and
Right.
on your
You're getting
skin
covered
and
in it.
everything. So you're carrying it with you. So like if it was like
Right.
spore like that, then like everything would be infected pretty much. So that's why
Okay, yeah.
they kind of changed it in the show to where it's more like root viney.
Which is a really interesting concept,
Mhm.
because they utilize that in different ways as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They go more for like the fungal root
Right.
as opposed to like the spore root.
And I can't imagine seeing so much of the show with them having to wear those masks
Yeah.
anyways, you know what I mean?
Every time they go through an infected hotspot.
There's something wrong with the radar, sir. Little Spaceballs joke for you.
Oh yeah, we love good old Mel Brooks. Maybe be on the lookout for a special Mel Brooks episode coming up potentially soon.
We are on a Mel Brooks kick.
I'm making Zach watch History of the World Part 1.
It's it's funny as fuck, dude. We only watched the first episode, but holy shit.
Yeah, it's super good.
Definitely in the works for that.
Yeah, but to bring it back to The Last of Us, um, other changes that they did, having Sam be deaf or
Super, super different,
Mhm.
just subverted my expectations
Yeah,
in a new way. And I love how they made Sam as a character.
absolutely.
It's like I had to relate to a new character, a new version of Sam, but it was almost more compelling. He's younger. He's got this superhero idealism between
Mhm.
of him and his brother.
Yeah.
Oh god,
It worked really well and it felt really natural for
it
them.
did. Yeah, and it like Ellie had to make even more of a interesting connection with him
Mhm.
because he was younger and deaf, and they had that
Yeah.
really cool communication, board, like this homemade.
And again, there we go. More changes that were made that I think improved the quality of the show.
Yeah,
Um Sam shows Ellie that he's infected
yeah,
and she cuts her hand and tries to use her blood to cure him.
which is yeah, and that shows like this hope that Ellie's holding on to with going to the Fireflies and everything.
Mhm.
Um, and just
And
such like
then
a desperate attempt to just save him.
he dies anyways and that's another death that's like on her.
Yeah, dude. When he says, "Will you stay up with me?"
Dude, it hurts.
It
It
hurts
hurts a
real fucking
lot.
bad. And the scene, right after was just so effective and so fucking heart wrenching,
It's
dude.
rough, dude. It hurts a lot.
What's Sam's brother's name?
Henry.
Henry. Yeah.
Henry, no.
When because like yeah, he
What did I
shoots
do?
him
What did I do?
immediately, and it's like he repeats it like he broke. He just broke. Oh
Couldn't
my
handle it. He
god.
couldn't handle it.
I get it, man. Um,
But
god
yeah,
damn.
so like all of that to say that
Yeah.
they definitely, they stayed true to the show and they felt like it would be better, but that or to the game rather, but then improved on it in very, very good ways
Yeah.
when they could.
Yeah, absolutely. And added just enough new stuff to keep it interesting for people that have beaten the game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
episode 3.
Ah, dude, what like such a ballsy choice.
Beautiful, beautiful episode. How, like
Do you think there was a high risk in them doing something like that? You think that's something they had to consider?
yeah, for sure, I think so. Cuz I mean, we live in a society where you're going to get, backlash for shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still remember when Korra came, like the Legend of Korra ended,
Yeah.
and it ended with
The
Asami and Korra holding hands, and people were like,
outrage, dude.
yeah, just
Outrage.
absurd.
Ridiculous.
So you're running the risk of people having reactions like that. But I mean, The Last of Us
Yeah.
is all about that, anyways.
It's exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, it's inclusive and it has been from the very start.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anybody who denies that is just denying.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just ridiculous.
the whole, I mean, episode 3, Episode 7,
Yeah.
Ellie and Riley.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Great
like we don't
episode.
have to. And we don't have to talk about The Last of Us 2, but like
Yeah.
we know Ellie's sexual preference.
Right. Right.
So like the game's like it's part of the identity. I feel like almost
Yeah, most
in a way.
definitely. Yeah, like I said, it's always made it a point to be inclusive and be real because that's a real fucking thing that happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
which is essentially to say, don't be homophobic.
Don't do it.
No, episode 3 was fucking spectacular, and
It's ballsy to tell a love story in a post-apocalypse like that, man.
yeah, and to also just Ellie and Joel are in it for maybe 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that story is just not about them.
All they do is look at a pile of corpses,
Yeah,
and Ellie's like, "Whoa."
yeah. Which I like that too. That was also a little sprinkle of some new stuff.
Yeah.
I like when Joel talks about what had to happen in the first early years of like recovering from all this,
Yeah,
the bombs, all that
Mhm.
kind of lore that they're talking about. But yeah, no. So episode 3 just had me crying. I just
Yeah, man. By the end of it, for sure.
that connection. I mean, you go through somebody's entire life. It's like what is
Yeah.
it, 20 years?
Yeah.
The whole 20-year span.
Yep.
Nick Offerman fucking
Absolute legend.
absolutely killed it.
Knocked it out of the park, dude.
I love this iteration
And
of Bill, sorry.
And Frank's actor as well.
Yeah, Murray Bartlett.
Yeah.
He did awesome in being this guy to bring Bill in, and make him kind of drop his guard.
Yeah, I saw a thing that was, basically saying Bill knew how to survive, but Frank knew how to live.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's so true. That's really true about their relationship.
Yeah.
Because Bill's thing is like, we have to be safe. I gotta keep you safe. And Frank's like, will you just come on a jog with me? Or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Come on, we're gonna have dinner. We're gonna have friends. We're gonna invite these people over.
I love that part.
You're gonna cook lunch for them, and then it cuts to them sitting around the table and
Tess and
Joel.
Yeah.
And Bill just has gun on table while
Yeah.
they're all eating.
Well, Joel and Bill are looking at each other just like,
yeah, they're sizing each other up.
I love it, dude.
Meanwhile, Frank is like, so Tess, it's I'm really hoping that we can build this fruitful relationship between the four of us.
Right.
I was thinking we could come up with a code.
Yeah, yeah. And then by the time that Joel and Ellie arrive, what you find is just, oh my God.
It's sad but beautiful.
Sad but beautiful for sure. I could not imagine. What the fuck would Bill do?
Exactly.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It was beautiful.
He didn't want to keep going on,
dude. When Frank first tells him about how he wants his last day to go,
dude, it hurts.
He's like, "You're gonna cook me dinner again."
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go down to the boutique. We're gonna pick out some suits. We're gonna get married. Oh, it's rough, man. It's very
just
heavy.
To die together.
And then, yeah.
They just we're just being each other's arms.
They're gonna dump these pills into this food, and then I'm gonna eat it and go die.
Yeah.
He just puts it in the whole ass bottle of wine, and they drink it together.
He's like, "Did you put it in the wine?" He was like, "Enough to kill a horse, like 10 times over or something." Oh my God, what a fucking beautiful story!
Then on top of that, Bill, his note for Joel that he leaves him,
yeah,
tells him, it shows that Bill has been improved by Frank. It shows that because at the start of the old Bill, the original Bill, did not give a fuck about other people, did not care about he just was I have my compound.
It's me,
It's me.
and I'm gonna be safe here.
But then in his note to Joel, he tells him, protect the things you love. Uh, and he mentions Tess,
Oh yeah, that hurt, man.
and it hurts.
That hurt bad.
Um, but it goes again to nail in that theme of love, which is present throughout the whole series.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That was a hit in the stomach. I wanted to talk about Tess's
Sayonara.
farewell
Yeah.
in this. How did you feel about that?
Um. Well, gross. First off,
I
to
puked in my mouth 13 times.
yeah. It's gross. It's gross.
It's
It's
gross.
gross.
The entire decision to make this thing have little mouth feeders like that come out.
Like the little spreading.
I want to fucking die, dude. If I would even see that in real life,
And
it wouldn't have to kill me.
and
I'd
she's
fucking
just
just
standing
die.
there taking it, man.
That was the weird part to me. I'm like, stop. Just trying to light
I
the
guess
lighter.
like if you like shoot your gun, you're just gonna activate all of them.
Yeah, and then be like ripped apart.
Yeah, and then you don't blow up the horde.
Mm-hmm.
But like
She was trying not to cause a scene. So I
that's
guess that makes sense.
gross.
That's fucking nasty, dude. And that's it. I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
We don't have to talk anymore. Just that's gross.
Just that's gross. But in comparison, how did you feel about the game portrayal versus the show portrayal? I liked that it set off the idea of these connected roots.
Yeah.
Because it displayed that very well.
Oh yeah. You know, I do like I think the way it goes in the game works for the game.
Gotcha.
They're being kind of chased by Fedra, and they get to this building, and I feel like the game is kind of, in a way, a little darker in its tones in terms of it's not as truly hopeful as a story. Like
Yeah.
not that the show is very hopeful either, don't get me wrong. But like in the game, like in the show, Tess goes out, sacrificing herself, killing
Yeah.
a horde of infected, buying Joel and Ellie time to escape.
Because it's so many. I mean, it is a horde. Yeah.
In the game, Fedra shows up, and I think she kills like one guy and then gets shot and killed.
Yeah.
And it does not slow them down at all. Like you still have to fight your way out.
Right. Yeah. So at least I guess in the show, yeah.
But like in the game, I think that works because it kind of goes towards like the futility of it all. She was already infected. She was gonna go out anyways.
It's like death. It's like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I might as well.
Yeah, yeah. And then for the as a gameplay mechanic, it makes sense to keep fighting.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think for the show, having the infected come in and everything helps activate that sense, like you said, show the roots.
Yeah,
and how that might affect later episodes.
Yeah.
I think that worked really well for the show.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, most definitely. We already talked about Henry and Sam. We really liked them. Man, I fucking.
But before we like jump off of like them in their episodes, have you seen any of like the set design, like the behind the scenes set photos for any of the Last of Us stuff?
Not too much.
I saw a picture that was taken when they were like getting ready to film for that final scene in that like neighborhood where the horde of infected come out of the house.
Okay, yeah.
And it's crazy how big of a set they built for this, like with houses and everything.
This is where the bloater appears.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And like it's like a fucking ant hill of infected come out.
Yeah, dude. That was
like World War Z shit.
People are saying there's not enough infected in this season, and I'm like
I get it a little bit, maybe, because they're not in like every episode.
Yeah.
it's also been 20 years.
Right.
Things die, and the infected were never really the true threat of the series, anyways.
Right.
It's always been people.
It's raiders. It's cannibals. It's
It's called The Last of Us, not
right.
The Last of the Infected People.
Exactly. The infected are just another hurdle to get past,
They're
and
just an
there's
obstacle. Yeah, they're just a part of the environment.
and it's I don't know.
It's a threat.
Yeah. Like The Walking Dead is called The Walking Dead, and even more so, there are human threats, but like
But I think even the name The Walking Dead is meant to imply that like
well,
obviously you can
now we're getting into Walking
yeah,
Dead
you
lore.
know, but well, no, we're not even gonna get in super deep. All I'm saying
Yeah.
is just name analyzing.
Yeah.
You can definitely take it at face value and just be like, oh, it's a name. It's the zombies. They're the
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Or you can analyze it a little bit and say that it's the survivors who are left. Their humanity kind of falls away as they survive and they have to do
Yeah.
fucked up shit,
No, you're right.
and
You're right.
they become the Walking Dead.
You ain't wrong, dude. You ain't wrong.
You know.
Um,
But yeah, like you said, in that show, even the walkers exist, and
yeah.
they might be the threat at the beginning, but very quickly it becomes a human problem.
Yeah. And that's what you're going to see in a lot of these post-apocalyptic situations.
Oh, for sure. It's all about how man devolves, the duality of man.
The duality of man. Yeah, dude. But so we get those episodes where they will pack in hordes and stuff. We get a couple instances of that.
Yep, when they're in
Then
Kansas
there's,
City.
The second episode where they're showing the runners and like the clickers for the first time.
Yeah.
And then I guess it trails off a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, they
when
don't
we're
really
getting more human interaction.
I was gonna say, yeah, like once they start going out towards Jackson,
Mm.
they kind of fall off a little bit.
Which makes a little sense because
It's also colder.
yeah.
Um,
And Jackson is where it is for a reason. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah,
not
they're-
by any cities.
yeah. exactly. And so yeah, the threat then becomes people.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a kid because it's Jackson has a community. They go out and they clear out the areas,
Yeah.
so there's not going to be too much infected.
Yeah. Jackson's like they got it under fucking control.
That's like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like if you are in the world of The Last of Us, head to fucking Jackson, Wyoming.
Yeah. They got power and everything, dude. It's nuts.
They live right by a fucking electro dam.
So good. It's perfect. Perfect.
Perfecto.
So yeah, I didn't find it to be too much of an issue.
No, me either. I guess that just is like people who are complaining about that, I guess just kind of set up the wrong expectations in their head, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, just like
You were expecting it to be too much of a zombie show, maybe.
right. Which, they really start to kind of just focus on there's a lot of scenes of just Joel and Ellie doing stuff. You know what I mean? Connecting and building that relationship.
That's what the game is.
Exactly.
That's what the game is.
And you got to get there. You can't spend so much time just killing infected and running around and killing more infected. They have to. You need to build this relationship up between Joel and Ellie to get to the point where you can be like, okay, at the end, you're like, I'm Joel, and Joel's feelings right now are completely validated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and they talk about, because I was watching the Last of Us podcast,
Right.
starring Troy Baker, the voice of Joel in the video game.
Okay.
And on the last episode, they talk about how the connection between Joel and Ellie has grown over the episodes. Like in episode 2, I think they're walking across a highway and Joel is talking, or Ellie's talking to Joel, trying to like say anything. She just won't shut the fuck up, basically.
Yeah.
She's doing jokes, she's asking him questions, blah blah blah, and Joel's just silent.
Yeah.
But then by episode 9, when they're walking again on a highway, this time the roles are reversed, and it's Joel who is talking to Ellie constantly. He won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And she is absolutely closed off.
Yeah.
Understandably so, because she's traumatized from the events of the last episode.
Yeah, for sure.
But it goes to show you that growth and how Joel and the audience themselves have bonded to these characters, to
Yeah.
Ellie.
Exactly. And once you get to that point in episode 9, you feel like Joel. You're like, Ellie, talk to me.
Yep,
Please.
you're like, are you please come on, open up, it's okay.
Yeah, for real. You just feel so bad for her, man. I mean, oh, what a critical moment, episode 8.
I mean, they talk. I was, watching again these like inside the episodes. I did a bit of research for this one.
Yeah.
And it's the third episode, I believe. No, sorry, fourth episode when they
Mhm.
first go into Kansas City and they crash the truck.
Yeah.
And Ellie saves Joel.
Yeah, man, that was fucked up.
That's like when she finally because Joel's relationship with Ellie is very kind of it's similar but different to his one with Sarah.
Yeah,
Like
right.
when Joel killed a dude in the first episode to protect Sarah, Sarah was, crying and
Yeah,
was like, "You killed him."
right.
Whereas when Joel kills somebody to protect Ellie, she's like, "Oh yeah,
Hit him again, bro.
let's go, let's go."
Yeah,
But she doesn't really truly realize the like severity of that until she does it for him,
right.
and she shoots him, and then he doesn't console her or anything like that, and she walks away and like wipes 2 tears from her eyes
Yeah.
and then just compartmentalizes it down.
Yep.
And Craig Mazin is talking about it, and he's just like, she wipes those tears away and she doesn't ever mention it again because she's just like Joel.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. And it made me almost think when you were saying that, is she trying to be like him? You know what I mean? I mean, that's her main influence right now.
Yeah.
And the first time she sees him beat the fucking shit out of that Fedra agent, she's like, "Oh, this guy can put in work.
This guy fucks."
Yeah, dude. Don't send him into his PTSD, bro.
Do not
don't
try.
make Joel mad.
Do not try to kill a little girl that is behind Joel. He'll forget that it's not his daughter, and you're done.
Fucking done for. Joel's a machine.
But I do love that. They made him more realistic in the show.
For sure.
He's not because
he's definitely
in the game you can just crouch walk the whole game, and you have that like advanced hearing power that lets you see through walls and shit.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, they're like, Joel has fired a gun so many times that he like can't hear out of his left ear.
Yeah,
or his like right ear is deaf.
Do you see? Yeah, he's not wearing.
He's got
earplugs.
He's got an absolutely fucked back.
Yes. Yeah.
And it comes to bite him in the ass because he lays out traps to try to like. He's like, "Oh, I'm laying out glass."
Yeah.
Around us, so if anybody steps on the glass, I'll wake up and I'll know it's them. And then he falls asleep on his fucking sound on his like
good ear.
On his good ear.
Yeah.
And that's when he wakes up to a gun at his head.
And I feel like in the show, that might make it a little more effective when because I can't exactly remember Joel's reaction when he's talking to Tommy
in the game.
But in the show, he's like, "Man,
like he's having like he's having a whole breakdown about it."
And like he's definitely having like anxiety attacks in the show, and like they make him more relatable in that way because like again, it's been some years since I played part 1, but I don't really remember that much.
So
stuff.
in the game, because I recently started like I couple months ago,
you were playing it, yeah.
Through it. When they get to Jackson in the game, Joel is planning to give Ellie to Tommy, and she overhears him say something about it, and so she steals a horse and she rides away. She leaves town.
Shit, man.
And Tommy and Joel ride out and they find her in like a house.
Yeah.
And that's Joel goes up to talk to her, and that's when they have the discussion where she says everybody that she's ever cared about in her life has left her except for Joel.
Yeah.
Um, and she brings up Sarah, and he's like, "You are on mighty thin ice."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. So in the game, it's more Joel thinks that it's not so much that he's gonna die
Is he just
on
trying
the
to
journey.
sever that
I
connection?
think it's like a mix of I'm trying to sever the connection before it can like truly form, and
Yeah.
also like I'm not good for her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's like
Gotcha. Because he knows. Yeah.
she would be better off without me with the Fireflies or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but he's taking the choice away from Ellie, which becomes a common plot thread.
Unfortunately, yes.
But he takes the choice away from Ellie, and it upsets her. And
Mm-hmm.
she brings up her trauma about being abandoned and everybody leaving her. And that's when Joel's like, "You're right about one thing. You sure as hell ain't my daughter, and I'm sure as hell ain't your dad."
Oh,
And then the next morning, he's like, "All right, we're leaving together. The two of us are going."
Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, cool. I fucked up. He doesn't go. He doesn't do that in the show.
Well, because Tommy says he's going to take her,
Yeah.
and then he goes to the stables as they're getting ready to leave, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" He's already there setting up a horse, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I thought you'd be gone," and he was like, "I'm waiting for you."
Yeah. Okay.
And then they leave together.
That's what happens in the game.
That's what happens in the show.
Okay. That's because I was like, yeah, I remember that from
That's
the
what
show.
happens in
Yeah.
the show. Yeah.
Okay.
In the game, it's they come back to town, and uh, that's when Joel he tells Tommy like, "I'm gonna take her,"
Okay. Gotcha.
and then he comes up to her and he's like, "Come on, kiddo, let's go."
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I like that it came from more of a place of fear in the show because
Yeah.
it's like I am old.
It's real.
It's real. Yeah. He's like, I can't. Like with Henry and Sam, I can't fucking hear out of this ear. They almost got
Because that's the problem with the game is that in the game, like, look, in the show, Joel is a fucking badass.
For sure.
Don't get me wrong, Joel is fucking hardcore in the show.
Concrete's a badass.
Concrete is a badass, and he's not gonna live very long, is he? We
Oh.
can't go an episode without a Tim Robinson
Oh my
reference.
God. That was a good one. That was a good one.
It was a good one. But yeah, so in the show, Joel is like a badass. He fucks shit up. Don't get me wrong, but in the games, Joel is unstoppable. He's an absolute monster. In the games, his kill count by the time they get to Wyoming is like, I don't know, 150, 200 people, and then like, I don't know, 100 infected.
Joel, when he says,
And that's just from when the game starts to when you get to Wyoming. That doesn't account for the fucking 20 years that he spent being a raider, killing innocent people.
ouch.
And that's the other thing that people don't understand. They're like, "Oh yeah, Joel's a great guy." I'm like, the whole point of the game is that Joel is not a good person.
Yeah.
Nobody in these games are good people. They just are people with facets to them.
Surviving in whatever way they can, in whatever way makes sense to them in the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's a big theme of the second game as well.
Yes, for sure.
Speaking of, did you hear that Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin said they're going to take more than one season to adapt The Last of Us Part 2?
Yeah, dude. Which is hell yeah. I feel like Part 2 is really big, man.
No,
That's
it is
a long fucking
It
game.
is. I'm pretty sure my save file when I finished it was like 24 hours or something like that.
Damn. Yeah.
Which is like compared to The Last of Us 1's like 6 to 8 hour runtime, I think.
Yeah.
Because I beat The Last of Us 1 in like 1.5 play sessions. The first time I played up until Joel got rebarbed, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the end of the game." I was like, we're at the end of the game already, and
Yeah.
I don't want to beat it right now, so I stopped playing, and then I came back the next day, and I was like, oh, I'm Ellie now, and then I beat the game in like what, an hour and a half.
Yeah. Past that point, yeah. Damn, son. You're like, oh, I'm Ellie now, and then you play through like the fucking cannibal sequence.
Yeah,
Oh man, fucking Christ! They nailed that in the show too, dude.
yeah, dude, David and Troy
Oh
Baker as coming in and being David's number 2 guy.
yeah, he's like the butcher, dude.
Oh
God,
man, very very good.
dude, the way that they did the final encounter between Ellie and like the
David,
pastor David. Holy shit, man! It's just like it was
it
so
felt like the
on
boss fight.
par. Exactly.
When you're sneaking around the diner or like like the lodge while it's burning.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was surprised there wasn't any glass on the ground because that's like a mechanic in the
I
game.
was thinking about that too. Dude, that was like the most stressful part of the first game for me.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
You have to do it what, like 3 or 4 times. You got to keep
You gotta
being
stab
more
him. I
stealthy.
was gonna say you gotta stab him 3 times,
Oh, dude, that shit was rough. And then yeah, dude,
and
just
then and then it cuts away, and then it cuts to Joel, and you're playing as Joel, like and then you see
yeah.
you see the burning lodge.
Yes. God, such a good fucking game. Such a good fucking show.
It really is too.
Seeing Bella Ramsey doing that scene and just
She did perfect. And by the way, in the last episodes, getting to meet Anna, who played by Ashley Johnson, Ellie's mom
it's
Anna is Ellie's mom, played by Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in the
oh
game.
my god, dude, it's nuts.
And she kind of looks like Bella Ramsey. Like Bella Ramsey looks like she could be.
You could it's like
it's passable.
perfect.
It's passable
It
for
is.
sure. Um,
As soon as I was so confused, then I saw the pocket knife, the switchblade, and I was like,
mhm.
fuck.
Yep.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring up that correlation there that they look alike. Kind
Awesome
of
way to
now.
open the last episode.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey did phenomenal. Absolutely.
Yeah, and after seeing that experience, first off, that's when their connection, like Joel and Ellie's connection, is the most like potent, I would
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
Or it reaches its like, I am your father
Yeah,
figure.
yeah.
I am your protector.
Joel is at like maximum dad mode.
At maximum dad mode. And oh yeah, Kayla was fucking balling, dude. Seriously, I got you, baby girl. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you just feel so bad. And then yeah, her performance at the beginning of episode 9, that cold,
Mhm.
I'm lost, and
Yeah.
Joel is just trying to find
He's
ways
trying
to bring
her back, and he can't do it, and he can't do it.
I'm so glad they did
And
the
he's
giraffes.
freaking like he's worried about her, but then,
Yeah.
they get to the giraffe, and it was a real giraffe.
Of course, beautiful.
There was CG to it. It was
Yeah.
But the giraffe was real. I think the background was CG.
Gotcha.
Like they blue screened it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, getting Ellie to laugh and smile and like see that she's still in there and
You
that she's
needed it.
gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect.
And then after the hospital sequence, she's just right back. And when you played the game, how many years did we have to wait for part 2? Like so many. Like you're left with that ending in the game for so long,
Yeah.
dude.
That
Except
guitar,
for me, I beat it like a year before.
the guitar line.
Yeah, dude.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And
Absolutely.
how did you feel about the hospital sequence in the finale episode?
I did wish it was longer,
Me too.
and I wanted to see a little more brutality in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think I'm
super
there with
mad
you
at it.
there. I was kind of hoping that maybe they could have dedicated a little like the same thing with you though. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping they could maybe dedicate a little bit more time to it, and maybe I don't know, have Joel as he's walking through the hospital trying to find where Ellie is. Find because in the game you can find some of like research notes and like recordings
Yeah.
of them testing people, and you can find out that like they don't know for sure if it'll work.
Yeah.
Like they've tested it before, like because they found I think other people that have been like Ellie before. Like Joel isn't 100% lying when he says
Right.
that,
Right.
but um, they haven't been able to make a vaccine for it.
You don't have as much of the context of
Yeah,
like this is a
it's
not for
just
sure. Like,
yeah. Joel in the show, Joel just kind of shows up, kills like 15 dudes,
yeah.
and then kills everybody in the operating room.
Right.
It's just kind of like a straight shot. Whereas I kind of wish that it had been a little bit more. He's looking around
Yeah.
as he's it's natural exploration, not like
A little. Yeah.
because in the games it's just you clear out floor by floor and then you move up a level. Um, but like as he's walking towards some stairs, maybe he passes a nurse's desk that
Right.
has notes on cordyceps on it or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or some X-rays or something like that. Just some
Yeah, like
information.
X-rays that show like they've been trying to work on shit and it hasn't been working.
And it seemed for the show's approach, it seemed they went more with this feeling of numbness. Like it was very quiet.
Yes.
And he's just like so blank faced, just
Mm-hmm.
murking people. Whereas
In the game, it was
yeah.
meant that whole scene was meant for you to go on a power trip. That was Joel's.
yeah.
That was Joel's moment to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I think that's like the first, like because in the game they gave you an assault rifle there.
Yeah.
And it's like the first and only time in the game you get an assault rifle.
They say go off.
And it's just here's a bunch of human beings that you can kill.
Yeah. No, the ending's very intense in the game, and it was intense in the show here too.
Oh,
Just like they
absolutely.
took away
Yeah.
from some of it. I'm
Yeah,
not that
like you
mad at
said,
it,
like
though.
you said, they made it feel a little bit more cold, detached, numb.
Yes, for sure.
Like Joel wasn't really there as he's killing everybody.
Do you think it's because he's like fighting with himself at all, or do you think he's one track mind?
No, I think he's one track mind.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's just performed in a different way.
Yeah, he can't. Now that he's identified Ellie as his second daughter,
Yeah.
He can't go through that loss again. He
Not
literally
at
can't.
all.
He like would not survive it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so he does whatever he can to protect her.
Dude, just when Marlene's like, you don't have to kill me, my man.
I was wondering if they were gonna show a little bit more with the surgeon, like give him maybe like
too.
one or two more lines, but
I guess it's supposed to be just that fast. Like it is in the game too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just you just.
I mean,
murk.
in the game when you walk in, you hold everybody at gunpoint, and
Yeah.
he stands in the way, and he's like holding a scalpel, and he's like, "I won't let you come near her." And
Yeah.
like you cannot progress the game until you kill him.
Yep. Yeah.
But that's like his only line is like, "I will not let you come near her."
Right.
So I guess it makes sense. But I was just, maybe they would do something.
Yeah, for sure. Little something.
But yeah, then his confrontation with Marlene in the parking lot.
Yeah.
They talk about taking away her choices.
Neither of them asked. No, nobody.
That's
asked
the
Ellie.
whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Is that both of them took away Ellie's agency.
Mhm.
Marlene is just kind of trying to play into it's what she would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that's what she would?
Know that?
Don't
Yeah.
you think that's what she would have wanted, Joel? Why don't you ask her? And Joel is afraid to ask
Of course.
because he thinks that Ellie would say, "Yes, my death is worth it. It would redeem me surviving when so many people that I've loved have died."
Yeah. Right.
Whereas Marlene won't ask because that's just not the type of person Marlene is. Marlene
No.
is like she will sacrifice people for her own ends.
Exactly. I mean, she talks about like almost all of the fireflies dying just to get her there. She's like, I lost all my dudes.
It's like cool, but
Yeah.
you survived.
Yeah,
Very
I'm like,
cool.
I guess you're here. Which I mean, Marlene's not a bad character or anything. I mean, I guess she's got this connection with Ellie's mother.
It's again, it
that
just
they
it
establish.
goes to the whole like there's very rarely just bad characters.
Exactly.
Everybody has facets to them. They're all dynamic in their own ways.
Right.
Marlene, it all depends on your perspective. Is Marlene bad for wanting to try to create a cure for the virus? if you're
It's a hard,
if you
yeah,
are like utilitarian, like if it's they talk about it again. I've been referencing this podcast because I listened to it just
yeah.
before we
It's
recorded
got that helpful information, man.
it.
Gives you that insight.
Craig Mazin is like it's just like the trolley problem. You know, if you are interested, like if you want to save the most lives possible, then sacrificing Ellie in the long term
Right,
is the correct thing to do.
right.
But but Joel's not going to do that.
Fuck no, he's not, dude. Especially not with a 100%. There's no guarantee of success. There's no guarantee.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Joel's like, we're going back to Jackson, dude.
We're yeah. And also, by the way, the set design for just to jump back to Jackson.
Yeah,
The set design for Jackson, perfect.
nailed it, dude.
I loved that they made it look like how it looks in the game.
Yes,
In the sequel, because
Yes.
in The Last of Us 1, Jackson is just they're at the power dam.
right.
They're like a small community at this power dam that they're trying to get like working so they can have electricity in the city.
Yeah,
Um, and then by the time of The Last of Us 2, they've turned into this big community,
right.
and this like the saloon or lodge or whatever.
Yeah, I love that area.
It looked identical to the game.
Yeah. I feel like they show
Dana,
for a second, right? Like that
I
was
think
the
so. I
thing.
think that's the chick that was like eyeballing Ellie.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I think so.
I love it. I'm so
Very cool
excited.
teasing.
This show was fucking fantastic, man. I mean,
Beautiful in every possible way.
it hit every single note. Casting was fucking phenomenal. So cool that we saw so many of the voice actors
It's very
getting
cool.
roles.
I loved that they got Marlene, like her actual actress, to come back and be her in live action.
It was perfect. It was definitely the right move, I would say. Just seeing Troy Baker as a character, seeing Ellie's.
Yeah, Ashley
Ellie's-
Johnson
Yeah, Ashley Johnson.
being Anna.
Now I did see something, and I don't know if it's 100% true, but I saw that Abby's voice actor made a small cameo as one of the nurses.
Yeah.
Which is badass.
I have a picture of it
That's really
on my phone, at
cool.
least. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen here.
That's super sick.
Yeah, it's just a quick little shot of her with like the surgical mask pulled down, and you
Yeah.
can see her, and then the surgeon is dead on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's
dude.
just like,
What's up, gamers?
yeah,
Jeez, man.
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I'm going to go ahead and give this show a big old 9.5 out of 10.
I think I'm right there with you, man. It's
if the last episode would have delivered a little bit more
Mhm.
and add 15 minutes to that bitch,
yeah. I was kind of expecting it to be a longer one.
I probably would have given it a 10 out of 10 in that case.
I know the game, because the game wraps up quick.
Yeah.
Like once they leave the hospital and they're in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And he just lies to her so casually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got all kinds of people, and they've actually stopped looking for a cure.
Yeah. Ew.
Ugh.
Yikes.
And just the final confrontation between them, where she talks to Joel about Riley
Yeah.
and her survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And Joel, tries to tell her, that's not your fault, blah, blah, blah. And Ellie is just, thinking in her head, you
Yeah.
can tell she's just like, shut the fuck up. Joel says, you find reasons to keep on living.
Yeah.
And then she, swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies was true.
Swear to me.
Swear to me. And he's just like, I swear.
He said, oh, no cap, respectfully.
No cap, bussin',
on
for real, on God.
Oh, Jesus.
And she's like, bet.
Oh my god, dude.
Cue the Last of Us theme, but with a
Yeah.
trap beat behind it.
Oh my god. I'm floored. So, yeah, great stuff. Super looking forward to the next couple of seasons coming
Yeah,
up.
man, can't wait. I am looking forward to seeing The Last of Us 2 adapted.
Oh yeah. Very much so. Um, for anybody who doesn't know The Last of Us Part 2, I just want to have a little bit of an ending conversation with spoilers. So there's going to be some spoilers.
All
Shield
right.
your ears if you haven't
Go
played it.
ahead and dip out. Yeah, if you haven't played The Last of Us 2 here.
Yeah, but before we end off here, what are your expectations for at least the next season? What are you hoping to see? And just any thoughts and speculation on that?
I'm wondering if they're going to just immediately start adapting like from the beginning of the game,
Yeah,
or if they're going to show instances from before the start of the game.
gotcha.
Because like the game itself starts the night, like, do you remember years ago before the game came out when
Yeah.
they showed that first cinematic trailer for it, and
Yes.
it's the dance,
I love it. Yeah.
and the game itself takes place the night after the dance,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and like they reference it and stuff, but you never get to see.
Like everything that happens that night.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe they'll show that. Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think that they will because as we said, they're going to take these opportunities to expand the story
Yeah.
and show us more of what's going on.
I'm
So,
wondering if they're going to probably take this time now to shoot the scenes that are like in The Last of Us 2, the flashbacks, like taking Ellie to the museum for her birthday.
yeah, I was kind of wondering in what capacity they'll do
Or maybe that's why it'll
flashbacks.
take more than 2 seasons to do, or more than one season to do, is because they're gonna tell the tale chronologically, maybe.
That would be
So they
interesting.
don't have to do constant flashbacks, because that's a pretty big chunk of The Last of Us 2 is flashbacks.
Lots of flashbacks for sure.
Because I was kind of wondering how they were gonna, like, how do you think they're gonna do the Abby stuff?
Yeah.
Like, because you play through half the game
Hmm.
and you're Ellie, and then it does a time, like a flashback, and then you're playing through the next like 12 hours as Abby.
That's a great question because
So I'm wondering if they're just gonna
show it at the same time.
maybe show it at the same time,
That
or
makes it less effective though.
exactly. So I don't know if maybe they'll just kind of tease events that are happening.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna. I don't know how it's gonna play out.
That's why
yet.
they said they need 2 seasons. This is much more of a thing to like deconstruct and reconstruct
Yeah,
in this format.
absolutely.
I feel like part 1 was way more straightforward. You're going through the 4 seasons.
Yep. Yeah.
Basically.
It was. Yeah.
This is like jumps around like
Yeah.
a
There's time.
motherfucker.
Time passes, man.
Time.
And time. But like it's true, because it takes a bit of time for them to.
There's even a couple decent time.
That's what I'm
jumps.
saying. Well, like it takes a couple months for them to get from Jackson to Seattle,
Yeah.
and then they come back, and then it's been a year or two, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
Because JJ's born and is like,
You little baby boy.
yeah,
Maybe like a 1-year-old baby or
yeah,
something.
yeah. So it's been like a year maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
Man.
and then she travels to fucking California.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Didn't the fucking house that Ellie's Ashley Johnson?
Yes, it looked exactly
It's gotta be it.
it looked exactly like the house that Ellie and Dina.
Because there was a little
Yeah.
ranch. There was even a little stable. That's gotta be it, dude. Like it's literally on par.
If it's not it, it was definitely picked it to
A design choice.
Yes.
Yeah. I just thought that was really interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it for sure was, because I was making the same connections in my head.
Yeah.
I was like, this is literally the same farm, field,
Dude, I know.
and house.
That shit was crazy. Super cool. Super cool.
Very cool, just parallels to draw.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I mean, as far as part 2,
Yeah, I just don't know how they're gonna like really adapt it or record things because I mean, in part 2, Ellie is 4 years older.
yeah,
Like I get that Bella Ramsey is not a child. Like
yeah,
she's not 14.
exactly. Right, right.
um, I don't know how they really make her look older though.
Mm, that's a good question. Maybe they'll only do like a 2-year jump or something that's like less noticeable.
Maybe.
Um, so like concerning chronologically, like if they're gonna come out with it in a linear fashion, I think the flashbacks are more effective for the points that they're trying to make throughout the story. So I think they might still do
Do the
that back and
flashbacks.
forth,
Yeah.
and especially like do all of Ellie's experiences in San Francisco and then do Abby's.
Yeah.
But the last question I have for you is, in this next season, when do you think they are going to do the thing? When do you think they're going to kill Joel off? Also, shame on everybody who's all up in the comment sections of every single social media page spoiling this.
Fuck all
We
of you.
said spoiler warning, all right? We said spoiler warning. You guys are fucking it up for all these people who were just fans of the show.
It's
Stop
not
it.
okay. It's not
Stop
okay.
it.
It's rude. It's very rude.
Let them experience it.
Um,
But yeah, when do you think? I mean, it's going to be an episode 2 thing, do you think? I guess it depends on how much.
I don't see him. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much they add / adapt or whatever.
Yeah.
In terms like if they adapt it straight from the games,
Right.
He can't make it past episode 2.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking.
He might go in episode 1.
Right. Depending on if they want to.
Because the game is literally, it starts. Ellie wakes up and like goes on shift with Jesse.
Do your training section, like.
Yeah, she goes on shift with to go on shift with Jesse, and then she breaks off and goes with Dina. And then they go to the fucking place and smoke weed and pass out.
Yeah.
And
nice.
They get found, and then they're like, "Hey, Joel and Tommy never came back." And so it's literally like Joel dies the day that the game starts.
Yeah.
Like the first day. So it could happen in the first episode, like 40 minutes into the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
It could be the episode ender.
Right, because that's what propels the story forward in such a fast fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
It might be, man. It might be episode 1.
I'm thinking it might be an episode 1 closer. It ends with Ellie on the ground.
Yeah.
As sound as she's got like that tinnitus sound in her ears.
Yes.
Her ears are just ringing and she can't hear anything.
You fucking fuckers.
You fucking fuckers.
Oh God. Yeah.
Joel, you gotta get up. Get the fuck up.
Oh, they fuck him up bad, dude. It's rough. Oh, it's gonna be hard to watch it happen to Pedro, dude.
Dude, I'm not ready.
I've already watched his
Not
head
ready.
get crushed once.
Why can't he just not?
Why can't he just not, dude? Yeah, for real. And I loved Oberon Martell. I was like, new character? Who dis?
Like this. By the way, Game of Thrones spoilers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's okay. Nobody cares about that show anymore.
Shit, man. Yeah, so super looking forward to the oncoming seasons.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to start up The Last of Us 2 again and play through that shit while we're waiting for it to come out. What are your thoughts, guys? Let us know how you enjoyed the show. If you've played the game, hit us up. Like, comment, subscribe on the videos, interact with us. We're so lonely. We love you.
Please.
We want to talk to you.
We just want conversation. That's all we want.
Come on. Conversate.
Just type anything.
We do appreciate you guys for watching. Everybody who's been
Absolutely.
following us along.
Yeah.
We're getting towards 40 episodes. It's wild.
It's crazy, man.
So
People are
thanks
actually
so much.
listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah, you listen to our voices.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So keep coming back for some more. We teased a little bit of history of the world. We're definitely going to be getting into that. I want to see All Quiet on the Western Front really bad.
I'm also interested in that.
So possible episode for that coming. Stay tuned, guys. Thanks again for listening.
Yes.
I'm Zach Gosen.
I'm Andrew Hall.
This was the Storyworks podcast.
Sayonara. Oh yeah.
We need to watch The Whale.
As it's like dying out.
Yeah. We're gonna watch The Whale, and I'm gonna cry.
All right, bye. Love you. Bye. Okay, bye. I love you. Bye.